Hey guys, what's going on? It's Coach Will, and today's video I want to talk about how to grow a gym. So what I'm going to do here in this video is go over some things I talk about with almost every gym owner I meet that I find myself repeating a lot that has to do with why their gym might be stuck, why they're not growing. This would apply greatly towards either a gym that doesn't have a lot of traffic going regularly into their gym. And by traffic, I mean people visiting their website, people landing on in their funnel, leads coming in consistently, booking appointments, getting those appointments to show up and join and become members. If you find yourself inconsistent in those regards, then this is going to be a great video for you because it applies to both a new gym that maybe is trying to get traffic up and going, but just as well to the established gym that maybe doesn't really have a strategy or really any consistency in that regard. If you find yourself just kind of hoping people show up every month and hoping that the seasons provide for you when the seasons are good, then this would be a really, really good video because we're going to talk about what's called the traffic flywheel. But before I do, if you guys have watched any of my videos, or if you watch this video and find any little nugget of value and you find it enjoyable content, then please just click the like button below or the notification or the subscribe button, or subscribe if you want more content like this. At the end of the day, you guys endorsing the content by clicking the like button or subscribing tells me I'm doing the right thing and that you're getting value out of it. And I meet with a lot of gym owners who watch my content here and on different platforms that give me the feedback when they meet me in person, but I don't always see it on the platform. So you guys commenting, you guys liking, you guys sharing, you guys subscribing and clicking the notification bell not only allows you guys to get more content like this, because as I produce more and get more feedback, I talk more about more of what you guys are telling me you want to hear. And ultimately, this is kind of like a vote. You know, all these social video platforms are pretty much kind of like a vote. You guys pretty much edify what you want to see more of by liking it, subscribing, and commenting. So do that for me, and I would be very grateful. So let's go ahead and move into today's video. We're going to talk about basically what it takes to grow a gym and get the flywheel spinning. Okay, so I got a few notes here on my flywheel. We're gonna change screens here a little bit. We'll just kind of dive in, and from there we'll see how long it goes for. At the end of the day, I want you guys to get as much content, education, and resources as you need to help you grow your gym. And at the end of the day, if you decide you want some help doing that, then you can go to come to me and go through our funnel and do a discovery call with us, and we'll tell you about how we can help make all this process a little bit easier. In fact, at the end of this video, I will also tell you a little bit more about what we do and how we take this process and turn it into a system to where it's reliable and repeatable, to where you can get these results not just for a short time, but for a long time. That's ultimately what our goal. My goal here is with this content is to, I guess, lift the veil on what running a successful gym looks like, and not hiding things behind paywalls. Because what I see a lot of in this space is a lot of gurus, people that have either never run a gym or they failed to run a successful gym, and then they decide that they want to tell gym owners how to grow a gym. Or they're marketers that took a course on how to do one specific thing. They know how to pull one specific lever, and they want to sell you that one specific lever and find a way to extract that value that it gets your business for themselves, leaving you with not very much when it stops working. And that's really like most of what the offers are to gym owners out there in the space, are these opportunities to they're almost sold like business opportunities, like where like if you pay me $20K, I'll put a system in place that gets you $25K, but only in a period of time enough for you to pay me, right? That's how a lot of these things are working out. And it's kind of taking advantage of gym owners. And I spent a decade growing gyms, ran 2 successful gyms. I've also run a bunch of other successful businesses. I make my own money. And at the end of the day, like, I want to help gym owners be more successful. At the end of the day, I feel like that's the best way to, if I was going to attract attention into our program, I want it to be for the right reasons. That's because you guys trust and, have confidence in that what we're going to do together is going to produce results for you. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about how to grow a gym, right? So at the end of the day, like, if you're here watching this video and you're trying to grow your gym, you have 3 main objectives. And this is really for any business, to be honest with you. Any business of any type really has 3 main objectives. And almost any 4th or 5th or 6th thing you could think of kind of just fits under one of these 3 things, right? If you're running a for-profit, and even if you're running a nonprofit, at the end of the day, nonprofits are really just like a tax classification. Those are businesses that need to, in their own books, before profit is distributed to an owner, show growth, right? Otherwise, they can't run. Like, at the end of the day, a business needs to make money to pay its bills. It needs to make money to also pay its shareholders, because its shareholders are relying on the business to put food on their plates too, right? So at the end of the day, like, everything we're doing, if we participate in this construct called business is to get more customers, make them worth more, and keep them longer. And for all the right reasons, right? At the end of the day, if we can get more people to join our business because in the area that surrounds our business, people believe that we are the best value, right? That we are worth the money they spend. When I say value, I don't mean the cheapest. In fact, that quite the opposite. In fact, oftentimes the low price leader in a space, the cheapest offering is often not the best value offering. Okay, and not in the most expensive offering is often always not the most valuable offering either, but it is more likely going to be a higher value offering because people who pay premium prices tend to get more premium experiences, and also tend to, one of my favorite sayings tends to be people who pay attention, right? So we want to get more members if you're a gym, or more customers if you're any type of business watching this. You want to make them worth more, right? So you want to extract value. And what I mean by that is you want to give value so the customer sees it worthy to take more money out of their pocket and hand it to you. They had such a good experience that they're like, I want more of this, right? Because that's how people's brains work, right? If we have an experience, if we spend $10 and have a $100 experience, then we can't wait to spend the next $10 with that person because we're like, man, that was a really, really good experience. I would like more of that, right? If I'm continually getting a multiplication of value returned out of the relationship, then I'm going to want more of it, right? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about finding ways to trick people into spending more money with us. That's what you'll see a lot of other people talk about when they talk about the word offers. The big buzzword in marketing right now is offers, and I know because I'm in the marketing world. And every guru on the internet who has never actually run a real business loves to try to talk about offers. And what offers often are like, how can we bait and switch people, right? And that's not what we need to do. We don't need to do that to have people actually like to make money and be successful for a long period of time. A lot of times those tactics will work in very, very short periods of time, but they are not often very sustainable, which is why a lot of gurus in the space long before me, are no longer in it, is because they made their money because it worked for a very short period of time in a certain period of time when those things worked well, and then they stopped working, so they got out and decided to go do something else, right? And then that third thing of keeping them longer, right? At the end of the day, like you run a gym, a recurring revenue business, a subscription model, a membership model business, right? It's a gym, but this is a subscription model business, which is a specific business model in itself. It's a way of making money, right? In the ways that you can make money, you can sell one-time services, right? You can go and sell something for a price and they get this, right? But that's not what we sell. In gyms here, we sell a recurring revenue model. So it's very, very important that we keep the members we have, because when we talk about getting more members, if we have people leaving all the time, then we're getting members just to replace the people that are leaving, and we end up in a situation that's called net zero churn. And we don't want to end up in net zero churn situations because it's a lot of work just to sit still, right? We want to maintain high retention, and we want to, have people electing to stay with us a long time, right? So we don't want to sell people on like the get fit quick type of offers. We don't want to sell people on like short-term results. In fact, we don't want to use those types of offers at all to attract people. We want to find a way to get in front of the audience that is searching for what we are selling, and that wants to commit to a shift, a lifestyle change. They're not looking for the get fit quick, right? It's the same with us and working with gym owners, right? When I owned my gyms, I had this philosophy. And working with gym owners now is I don't really want to work with the gym owner that's get rich quick. Like if you're watching this video because you want to get rich quick, then I'm going to just break the news to you right now that you made a really bad decision, and you were probably not a very good financial decision maker. Because if your goal was to get rich quick, then you shouldn't have started a gym, because of all the different types of ways you could have gone about investing $30, $50, $100,000 into something to go make a return. Gyms are not the fastest way to do it. Okay. More likely, if you are here for the right reasons, that is to build a community and a tribe of people that see paying you what you're worth for a long time, and helping your community and helping people get fitter and making good profit along the way, but doing it in a way because you provide even more value to the world, because that's how value should work. Because if you change enough people's lives, ultimately the monetary benefit is going to come around full circle, right? It's kind of like, financial karma, if you will, right? If you take care of people. But if you did this because you thought a gym was a great way to get rich quick, then you made a bad decision. If you were trying to get rich quick, you should have went and gotten into crypto or day trading, or these days even real estate, which has its ups. And all these things have their ups and downs too, which is kind of to my point of that. Like if you want to build a really good sustainable business that can bridge the gap of all market conditions, which my businesses have all been able to. I've run like 8 successful businesses, and I started like my first business in the depths of the 2008 recession. And like there were just principles in my businesses it was these principles in my businesses, in my current business, Big Little Gyms, that, we build relationships with our clients that last a long time and are high value to our clients. The people that work with us every month they pay us, see a multiplier in return and value in working with us. And that compounds and snowballs every month they work with us. And that's always been the same thing in all of our businesses. So ultimately, that's one of our goals, is keep them longer so it's get more members. Just to recap here, get more members, make them worth more, keep them longer. Those are always your primary objectives. And it's kind of like your North Star, because as a gym owner in the day-to-day, there's a lot of other little objectives and goals you're going to have, like, your workout programming, better equipment, keeping the gym clean. These are all in the business jobs, right? There's in the business jobs that are like part of, if you're a role player in your business, which more than likely you are, most gym owners are working in their business, which is not always the case in business. In fact, most businesses, the owners, in bigger business, the owners don't work in the business. They are either like executives, which executive jobs are still in the business jobs. Those are management positions. But for a gym, this is a owner-operator type of business. But there is a difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. And being self-employed is, essentially being relegated to like having to go work in the business every day and do the lowest of the low-level jobs. Like you're turning all the wrenches every day. That's not the position we want to be in as a business owner or as a gym owner. What you want to be in is what is actually called a business owner. You own the business, and ideally you work in more of like the executive roles, the management level up roles of your business, and then you choose to work in the business jobs that you want for periods of time, right? Because you might enjoy coaching, right? You might enjoy occasionally cleaning the gym, right? There's something cathartic for me about cleaning the gym every now and then. But I'll tell you, like, a lot of those things were earlier in business. And if you're watching this and you just opened a gym in the last 3 or 4 years, you're probably still in that honeymoon phase where like you're really excited about showing up and doing the grunt work every day because it's yours. And that's normal. And that's a beautiful thing. Early on, that's a beautiful thing. And it's very, very important that you feel that way. And I felt that way too. I feel that way about all my businesses. Early on, you enjoy every part of it. But then there starts to be a transition or an evolution that happens with every business owner and the relationship with their business, where one day you wake up and look around and be like, why am I cleaning the gym? I've been doing this 6, 7, 8 years. Why am I coaching all the classes, right? Why am I doing all the jobs, right? And that happens for everybody. And that's why it's very important that you get systems in place and you focus on the bigger goal of get more members, make them worth more, keep them longer. Because if you don't do that, you'll be forced to continue to do in the business jobs every day. And that's where you burn out. And one of my, I'd say, missions or vision or, goals for Big Little Gyms is to help business owners that do this, that grow gyms, prevent from falling into that trap, because we have very important work to do as gym owners. We have very, very important work to do as gym owners. We are, big pharma, big medicine, big food all have missions that kind of work against our missions, which are to convince people they're living healthier lives when in fact they're living less healthy, less satisfied lives. And it's not just about doing fitness. It's about, providing other outlets for people that help them live a healthy lifestyle, building communities, building tribes, having guidance, having leadership, having even mentorship in their life, people they can look up to that are living life the right way and surrounding themselves with people that want to live their lives a similar way, right? And that's what we're doing in building these communities as gym owners, and why I started my gyms. I actually started my gyms off the back of running a much, much more successful business, multiple $1 million business. I decided to actually take a step down and open a gym. And I say step down because I was never going to make the kind of money running my gym, no matter how successful I ran it, as my previous business. But I felt called to do this for a period of my life, a whole decade, because it just felt like meaningful work for me. And the prospects of just running business just to make money alone kind of burned me out, right? And so I started my gyms because it felt closer to my heart. And I did that for a while, but it eventually also burned me out because of these exact things of not realizing that like I can't do the in the business work forever, and that I need to work myself out of those roles. And it was getting back to focusing on getting more customers, making them worth more, and keeping them longer. And that really was like the impetus shift for me. It was about 5 or 6 years in deciding to start implementing a lot of what I learned from my previous business and how I grew it to multiple millions of dollars a year. And a lot of it was get more customers, make them worth more, and keep them longer, or keep them coming back. The business I had prior to gyms was not a recurring revenue model. It was more of a model of that, like they bought once. The goal is to hopefully have them buy again in the future, which is a return customer, right? Okay, so how we do this, guys, and one of the things I find myself talking a lot about to gym owners that come and do discovery calls with me. I have a team that when you opt in to our funnel to come work with us, you're probably going to talk to, and sometimes I still take calls and talk to gym owners. I still find myself saying the same things day in and day out to the gym owners as I meet with them and take a look at like why they're not growing, why they're not getting more members, why they're not making their customers worth more, and why they're not keeping them longer. And one of the things that's often missing, and one of the things that we implement for the gyms we work with here at Big Little Gyms, is the traffic flywheel. And I'm just going to tell you what that is here. You don't have to pay me to learn about the traffic flywheel. I'm going to teach you what it is here, right? So when you go to grow a business, there's kind of like two philosophies, right? There's a straight line approach and there's a flywheel approach, right? And I'm going to just switch screens here and I'm going to do a little drawing so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I mean by this, right? So a lot of people, when they go to grow a business, they think a business, they approach it like this. So like, okay, implement something. And let's say right down here is where you're currently at. And up here is where you want to be, right? So we're going to go up here. We're going to put a little gold star up here. And that's where you want to be. And this is your current situation down here, this little green light, okay? And people will talk about growth like it goes like this, like it's a linear straight line path. And they will, in a lot of companies that want to sell you marketing stuff, talk about it like this, like implement our system and you're going to make bank and set sail into the sunset and never have to do anything ever again. And that's because that's the dream, right? We wish it was that easy, but in reality, it doesn't actually work that way. In order to really have success in business, you need what's called a flywheel. So it's not a straight line, it's a flywheel. Because here's the thing about linear approaches, is when we do linear approaches, say, really good example of what a lot of gurus will sell you in their program. And I'm not hating on all these other gurus. I'm just like, and even just gym owners themselves who just don't understand how this works, is they say, okay, we're going to come up with this offer and we're going to run paid ads. Okay. So we're going to turn on this machine and we're going to run ads and it's going to start going like this, right? It's going to start going like this. And then one day what happened, and what they don't tell you is one day, and this is like month 1 to month 3 right here. This is like month 3. The ads start getting more expensive. So you're spending the same amount of money and they start doing this. Okay. They start going kind of straight, maybe going up a little bit, but pretty much straight, right? But then they keep running them because you're like, oh, this strategy, it worked. And, you kind of get addicted to the strategy. And so you go back and try to run it again. And it kind of does like this. It picks up a little bit, but not as effective as the first time. And it kind of starts doing this. And then you go back to the well again and you run the strategy again. And it kind of barely goes up anymore. And then you do it again and it starts going flat. And then now you're starting to lose money on ads and it starts going down, right? And then you don't have any other way of getting business. So you just basically start falling off a cliff, right? And we saw a lot of businesses go out of business with what I call like the gym launch strategy that is pretty much this model of like, let's do something that's like a fire sale offer that gets us customers for like a month or two. And they're smart in how they have you pay them, and that like you pay them all the money in the first 2 to 3 months. And, you're basically giving them the profit you're making in the first 3 months. And by the time you hit month 3, it's no longer working as well. So the gains are pretty minimal thereafter, because what happens is you saturate your market here. You're not actually, you're doing here with this strategy of like running paid ads, is you're basically running offers to paid ads and running the same offer and just rinsing and repeating all the time and just kind of pulling the same lever and over again like a crazy person. What you're basically doing is saturating your market. And it's all your cold audience, right? It's all the people that have never heard about you, because that's when you're running paid ads on social media. It's who's hearing about you is people and they're just cold traffic. They don't know who you are. They're not even looking for a gym. They just see your super clickbaity offer and they opt in. And early on it works because Facebook, the way that it runs ads, is the first, people it shows it to are going to be people that are going to be the most impulsive. Now here's what happens off the backside of this that they never tell you is a lot of these people that you're signing along the way, because they are the most impulsive and the coldest audience and the least like discerning when it comes to your product, is they start churning as you're signing new people. So like you end up kind of actually in reality kind of going like this. Even though it feels like you're growing because you're selling people, you start flattening because like, yeah, you're signing 20 people a month, but you're churning off like 15, and then you're churning off like in month 3, 20, right? And so you're just selling people to replace the people who are leaving, and the only revenue you're getting, the only profit you're making is the front end revenue you collect on the sale, right? And the problem with that is it turns the gym owner into a salesperson, and our operations are not very big, so we can't afford to have a whole sales staff. This model would work if we could have a whole sales staff just pumping out front end revenue all the time, and we didn't care if the member stayed or not. If we knew we could just always sell new people and not have to do it all ourselves, then it would work. But the model for a gym is like financially non-viable to support a staff of like 10 salespeople to just be selling people to constantly outpace churn, if that makes sense. So it doesn't work. So we have to instead deploy what's called the flywheel, right? And so what a flywheel looks more like, the growth is going to be more like this. So we go back to our green light here and our gold star, okay? Up here, our goal is ultimately we want to build like long-term customers, right? And we do have a seasonal business model, and I'll see if I can best kind of encapsulate this, right? So the growth curve is going to kind of go like this with more of a flywheel model, right? So you're going to have little ups and downs over the seasons because it's understanding that there are seasonal curves to our business, but generally we're always trending up to our goal instead of flatlining off like this. And what's happening is you have this flywheel kind of spinning at each one of these little circles here where it's really taking advantage of the seasons. Okay, so you have these little flywheels here, and these should be arrows. Okay, just like that, little arrow, little arrow, little arrow. And these are just little flywheels that are spinning that kind of speed up, right? I'm going to talk about how we do this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my screen share here. And that's kind of like the difference between the straight line like way of thinking about it and a flywheel. And a flywheel, what's great about a flywheel, and what I really like about a flywheel is a flywheel, when you stop pedaling, it keeps spinning, right? A flywheel is the thing that's on the back of a bike. When you pedal a bike and you stop pedaling because it lets you rest, that you hear clicking when the bike is going, that's the flywheel, right? So you stop pedaling and it keeps going, right? And in fact, like flywheels are used in like mechanics to keep to improve like efficiency of something, right? Like rather than like a motor just continuing to have to spin, they'll use flywheels and like mechanical devices to like make the motor more efficient, so the motor can push hard for a minute, not burn itself out. The flywheel will keep it spinning. Sometimes the inertia from the flywheel will continue to spin and actually accelerate beyond the motor stopping spinning, and then when it slows down, the motor will pick it back up again. But it makes it so the motor doesn't have to push it 100% all the time. This model up here is broken. This linear model that they try to put in place, or this linear way of thinking about your marketing of like just pushing all the time, doesn't work because it burns you out. And what happens is, say this strategy is built on like one specific tool. Say this is using paid offers. Now, paid offers, this only works if you are running ads, which get very expensive over time to continue to maintain this strategy. And if you can constantly follow up and sell all the time, which you should be like, as a business owner in a perfect world, I would tell you like, yeah, you should be following up and selling all the time. But if you're running an owner-operator business model and you're still having to coach classes and do a lot of other things, it's not sustainable. Like personally, you will burn out after a while. If you're sales biased like I am, you can have more fun doing it for longer. But eventually you'll ask yourself the same questions you were asking yourself when you were coaching all the classes yourself of like, man, I'm just selling every day just to replace the people I'm losing. And you're going to be like, it's going to feel like you're not really making progress, okay? But it's going to feel like you're making progress because you're selling people. But in reality, you're not actually making progress, right? And the problem is like as soon as you turn these paid ads off, as soon as you're like, man, I'm tired of spending $3,000 or $4,000 a month on ads, the traffic just does this. It just dives off. Because the only way you're getting leads into this sales model is through paid traffic. So it is the opposite of a flywheel. It's a linear model. It's basically the motor that's running at 100% all the time that's either eventually going to break down or you need to turn it off for maintenance, and it's just going to basically go straight down, okay? That's the problem with this. Versus a flywheel model, we can run traffic in sprints, and when we turn it off, it dips a little bit, but it keeps running strong enough, and then we can kind of rinse and recycle, and then it keeps running strong enough to get us to the next period, and then it keeps going up, and we can build on our previous runs. Okay, that's the thought here. Okay, that's the logic behind the flywheel. Okay, now how do we get the flywheel spinning? Okay, so I'll explain it to you guys like I explained at the gyms when they come on to work with us, so they can best understand kind of like the what we're aiming for here at Big Little Gyms when we work with a gym. Okay, so the best kind of traffic you're going to get is also the free traffic, right? So the best traffic you're ever going to get is always number one. So number one would be, I would say, word of mouth would be number one, right? So word of mouth traffic is number one, which is like, your members telling their friends, right? And this is the best traffic, and you don't need to do anything in marketing to do this. You just need to serve your customers well, and you're going to get word of mouth. But there's a problem with it, okay? And I'll show you what the problem is that word of mouth is very limited, right? In that, like, early on when you start your gym, this happens for a lot of people. I'm just going to pull this up. So there's a great book you can read called Crossing the Chasm, okay? And if I go to images, this is the concept in the book, if you want to just, for me to save you the time, is that when you start a business, this is pretty much who your first like 30, 40, 50 clients are going to be, are these people right here. Let's see if I can go full screen on this. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's going to let me. Maybe there's a bigger image here. Okay. So like these are your first like 30, 40, 50 clients for a gym. And I know because I've run it. And this is the chasm right here. And this is everybody else. The green, purple, and red here is everybody else. This orange and blue here. I'm going to save this image. Let's see. Save image. And we're going to open it up. Well, we're going to open it up big. We can't open it up on a bigger screen, I guess. Wish I could open this up bigger so you guys can see this. Well, maybe this will work. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll leave it. But like the orange and the blue here are like your early adopters and your first members. And they are the people that are like generally like ahead of the trend in your community. And they're going to tell their friends, right? But their friends that they bring in, the next like 30 to 40 members you bring in, are going to be this green crowd over here, right? They're the prom queens, right? They're the prom queens. They are like, they don't really, like, they're not really out there like digging in the dirt to find the cool things. They just kind of keep up with the Joneses. These are like the green is like the keeping up with the Joneses people here, okay, and this crossing the chasm. And they don't refer their friends as well. They generally are the people being referred. So word of mouth will be limited because of this, because like those, you're going to rely on that first 30 members to tell all their friends. And that's why you often see a plateau at like 50, 60, 70 members for a lot of gyms, for like group fitness type gyms anyways. And it happens with bigger gym models too, is because like you're just relying on the early adopters to tell all their friends, but they only have so many friends, so word of mouth is limited, right? And for a lot of gyms in the first year or two will grow via word of mouth and think that they are like the best at marketing ever, like the best business owners ever, and then they will like hit year 3, 4, 5 and start to plateau and stop growing, and it's because of this, what's happening right here. Right? So word of mouth is great, but you cannot rely on it, and you cannot sit back. If you let word of mouth run your business as the chief marketing mechanism, you'll pretty much just break even forever. Like you'll never really break through to like scale, right? Okay, so number 2 is organic internet driven traffic. Okay? And this includes things like local search. This includes organic content. And I've got videos on this, guys. Like I'm not going to go too deep into these specific things today because, I'm already pretty deep into this video at this point, at 30 minutes in, and I like to keep it a reasonable time frame. But in short, like people that are searching for you. So there's a couple things here, right? Like with like local search. The people that are searching for what you're selling, if you come up at the top of that is your best traffic in like all of the internet, right? Which is where everybody shops for everything. So you could say that that's the best traffic you're going to get outside of word of mouth. And the cool thing is it's plentiful, right? So if I go on the internet and let's put it like this. If I'm on the internet and I'm the average person, actually I'll be 2 different people. I'll be person A. I'm the person who spends all their time on social media. I spend 7 hours a day on social media, and this is most people, by the way. And I'm going to social media, and I'm just there to waste time because I don't like my job. I don't, I'm trying to find escapism, and I'm there to look at pictures of dogs and babies, and scroll through shorts and reels and all this stuff. I'm not really there looking for a gym, right? I'm not really there looking for a gym. But if I'm the other person that I'm actually like doing research and I'm looking, I'm going to go to Google, I'm going to type in gym near me. My mindset is completely different than that other person, right? I am intently, it's called an intent-based prospect, and I am looking for a gym, right? And that means I've probably done some research, and if I'm typing it into Google, it's because I want to see who's around me and I want to do some research, right? So this is the best, right? Local search, because the problem is here is it's competitive, and things like Google rank on a couple different things, and it is like reputation, authority, the relevance of your content, right? So reputation is like what other people are saying about you, right? Who has the most social proof? Who has the most reviews? Who has the most people saying things about them on the internet? That's reputation, right? Authority is like how well you speak on your topic, how well the people in those reviews talk about and edify your authority. Do the things you say answer the person's question on the things that you publish on the internet, your website, your funnel, content places, like how well does that demonstrate your authority? And then relevance is like how relevant is the content you're publishing to like what Google knows is working right now and what people are looking for right now. Because things have changed a lot in the fitness world over the last decade, right? A decade ago, the group fitness trend was kind of just taking hold and was at its peak or coming up on its peak. Now it's like you have weight loss drugs, you have a lot of things that people looking at, being healthier and fitter are considering besides just group fitness gyms. And like, are you talking about those things and why you're, a different and more exciting option than those, right? So, and Google looks at all those things because it has little spiders that crawl all over your stuff on the internet and says like, okay, this guy seems to be doing the best job. Let's put him at the top. And if you're at the top in almost even the smallest town, you'll be getting thousands of visitors from people that I would consider very warm traffic. The close rate on the leads you get from organic search on those platforms is very, very, very strong, right? And then next would be, I would say, content. And content would be like, is something very important as well. I would say it's important to do, right? And the reason why is like on social media, if I am that person that's spending 7 hours a day on social media and all I ever see from you is ads, if all you ever do to market to me is ads and all those ads are just these kind of bait and switchy kind of offers, then like, if I do opt in on that, like I'm obviously not very well learned. I'm not very discerning. I'm going to be a kind of impulsive buyer. I'm probably not going to stay a long time, right? So the only people you're going to get from social media if you run ads are going to be the very impulsive, not committed types of people, right? That doesn't mean ads won't work, but you need to do this as well. And you need to have very, very good, consistent content that informs, inspires, and educates, entertains. Sorry, informs and educates, inspires, and entertains. You need to find a way to, with your local audience, amass either 11 touch points or 7 hours of content consumption. When someone has watched either 7 hours of your content or has engaged with you 11 times on the internet, there's like a 95% rate that they're going to become a customer, right? Now, this is part of the flywheel of like you are always publishing some content that either informs and educates, inspires, or entertains. And that's going to be pretty consistent almost daily, right? And it has to be good. It can't just be pictures of people working out in your gym. That's what most gyms do. Is like if I go to their social media, it's pictures of people working out in their gym. If it's a CrossFit gym, it's almost always people doing like burpees and thrusters and videos of people working out. And like the average person, that doesn't inform and educate them. It doesn't inspire them, and it doesn't entertain them. Fitness is boring to watch. No one wants to look at pictures of other people working out. It's not that exciting. But as gym owners, you'll post it because it makes your existing members feel good. And you should mix some of that stuff in, but it shouldn't be what dominates your content. What should dominate your content is, again, these three things. Things that educate, and I'll just bullet point these for you guys. Things that inform and educate, inspire, or entertain. Okay? So I'll give you some examples. Okay, inform and educate would be like, okay, what are the things that people want to solve for when they're looking for a gym? And a lot of gyms will talk about why they have the best kind of fitness. When people aren't looking for the best kind of fitness, they don't really care. Fitness trends are kind of like fads. They're not that caught up in this, and they're very fickle. As soon as something new and exciting comes out in fitness, we saw this back in the 2010s. Like CrossFit was the hottest thing since sliced bread from like 2005 to 2015. And then Orange Theory and F45 and a million other companies came in, kind of peddling something similar, but with like a different brand. And like that, ever since, CrossFit's pretty much been like dead flat. Like if anything, their general interest based on like Google Trends data has gone down by 75% since 2016. And that's because other brands came in and stole market share, because it's not hard to copy fitness methodology and that stuff, right? So we don't talk about like why our type of fitness is we don't inform and educate on that. What we inform and educate on is what people do have problems with. What do they have problems with? Well, people have back pain problems. They have weight issues. They have eating problems. They have consistency problems. They have not knowing what to do in the gym problems. Right? And so you create content and videos around these things, and you tell them how to do it. Much like I'm doing for you right now. I'm telling you it works because I'm doing it right now, right here, what you're watching. I'm informing and educating you on something you can go and do yourself to show you it works. That way I can build trust and authority with you. I'm not trying to get you to buy my stuff off of this one video. I want you to watch more of my videos, so that way down the road when you decide you need my help, it makes sense for you to do it, and we do business together, and it's a win-win. Right? And it should be the same with your clients. So you inform and educate. So it's like, people have back pain problems, right? People have hip problems. People have recovery problems. People have weight problems. Okay? People have what to do problems. Like, how often should I be working out? The most basic questions, right? It doesn't need to be about why, you do high intensity workouts across broad time and modal domains. Like, that makes no sense to the average person. Like, okay, that's not the problem I have. I don't have a problem with doing workouts across broad time and modal domains. I'm just trying to figure out how many days a week should I work out, and how long should I work out for? You should be publishing content every week about this stuff, right? Inspire. So inspirational. This is where you can, this is where you can share some of your stuff with your existing members, but it shouldn't just be pictures of them working out. This is to tell their story. Tell your members' stories. This is testimonials, where they tell what was life like before working with your gym, what was life like after working with your gym, and what someone like them should consider if they're going to work with your gym, right? And entertainment is like just fun, behind the scenes, getting to know us. Like, what are the quirks? Right? Funny stuff. Drama. Right? Don't go air out anybody's dirty laundry to create drama, but it's drama, right? So that's the trick, is you got to get this stuff going. Because here's the thing about organic traffic, is it takes all this stuff I share with you, local search content, is you can't just show up tomorrow and it work. Right? You can't just go and start doing, SEO, up here, authority, reputation, what else? Authority, reputation, and relevance, up here. You can't just start doing this stuff and like tomorrow Google's gonna be like, oh, you decided to start working on your business. Congratulations, we're gonna put you at the top. No, it takes like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, maybe a year, depending on how competitive your market is. But once you do, this is very hard for someone else to take from you, because it takes so long to get. It's very hard for someone else to do it, right? And the trick is like there are things you can do in each of these departments that if you do them and do them consistently, they're not heavy lifts, that it'll get you there, and your competition is not going to know how you did it. They're not going to know how you did it, and it's going to create a moat around your position, right? It's what I did with my gyms. I was able to get top spot, and all the other gyms would try, and I would see them trying. I would see them doing things like getting more reviews, and they just couldn't unseat me, even if they had more reviews than me, because there were things that we did. And these are the things that we do here at Big Little Gyms with our clients that we implement as part of our system and include to basically get this flywheel spinning, right? And then content here, same thing, having a strategy that's consistent, a playbook and a strategy that is consistent around these things to make it easy for you to produce the content and not have to think so hard and show up every day and want to do it, right? That's very, very important, which is also something here at Big Little Gyms. When you work with us, we give our clients these resources and help you implement them and give you the strategy, right? All right. Now, that's this flywheel here, organic flywheel, requires Consistency and patience. Okay. Bold. Right there. Big. So what do you do? What do you do while you're waiting for that to happen? So you have to start doing this, and you are going to see some increase for sure. You are going to see some increase for sure. Because another one of the things that like we do all the time at big little gyms with the gyms we work with is when we put a really good lead generation funnel in place. Sometimes a lot of this is already getting done, and so we'll put that here when we fix the funnel / lead generation. Sometimes that starts getting the flywheel spinning right away because there's already traffic coming in from all these things. The gym just doesn't have good lead generation and a good funnel. So it's not converting the traffic. It's getting into customers. So you can fix that as well as part of the organic funnel, right? But what do you do while you're waiting for that to pick up speed? Well, that's exactly what paid traffic is for, okay? And how you use paid traffic, right? And to my point earlier, I kind of bashed paid traffic earlier in the video, right? But that's because I'm only talking about using it in the context that we're not doing any of these things, right? Because if all you're doing is this strategy of just run ads all the time, then it's going to be short-lived. You're not going to get a flywheel spinning. It's going to be a linear path that works until it doesn't, or until you stop paying for it, and you're going to be up the creek without a paddle, right? So that's where like doing these things and building this foundation here, when you use and when you turn paid traffic on and you do it the right way, and it's not these bait and switchy offers, then you can backfill the traffic you need to get leads and get members and grow while the organic picks up, right? That is how you should look at this. Now, if you do this, what's great is it kind of looks like this. I'll do kind of a graph for you guys. So, let's do a little like line graph here. Let's say here's our axis here, our y-axis and our x-axis. And let's say, again, our goal is up here. Okay. Now, in strategy A, let's do red for paid traffic, right? In strategy A, you do nothing organic, and organic will be the green one down here. Organic just kind of stays here. And you don't do anything, and you don't get anything going, right? You're not running the flywheel. You're not getting it going. And then all you do is decide to turn on some ads with a bait and switch offer. It's going to do this, okay? You're going to see this, and you're going to get real close to your goal, and then it's going to go boom, and it's going to go down, and you're going to do something like this. And that's what's going to kind of happen. I've seen this happen again and again and again, okay? Now, with the flywheel model, you're going to see something like this, okay? Oh, right there, and then here's our goal up here. Gold star. Is you start working on the organic flywheel and getting that system in place. And it starts kind of down here where the other one is, and it starts to do this. Okay? And it starts to do this, it starts to do this, it starts to do this. And I would say this is about like 2-3 years here. About 3, let's call this year 3. Okay, and this is year 2, and this is year 1. Okay? And here we'll say this is year 1, this is year 2, and this is year 3. Okay, so same thing. So this is organic, and this is what you want, because organic is free, right? And if you have such that content flywheel spinning and that organic search flywheel spinning, then paid only enhances it. You don't have to rely on it, because you can do this, right? So you can basically, as you run it, right here, you can run some ads to kind of backfill and get some traffic going in year 1 while your organic's picking up, and then it's going to inevitably die off. But because you don't have to rely on it and you don't oversaturate, it goes down a little bit, and you can even turn it off for a little while, and it's going to hold some of its potential there, and then you turn it back on, and you can do this again, and you can do this again, right? And so ultimately, you get bigger outcomes with both happening, right? But you have to work on it as a whole, right, versus just a one-trick pony, right? So that's the organic traffic flywheel, guys. Or that's just the traffic flywheel in general and how it works and how you should think about this. And this is not just for like a gym. This is like any business, right? Any business that just grows on a paid strategy alone is going to see very, very short-lived results, right? Like, because Organic builds brand, it builds professionalism, it builds authority, it builds relevance, it builds an audience of people in your market that when you do run ads, the ads work really, really well because they've seen you before. That's why the ads keep working here in this second version down here. This one right here is because when you have really strong organic audience that's heard of you before, they've had that 5, 6, 7 touch points with you, or that 11 touch points with you, or they've watched like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of your content. They've seen you in the local searches. When you do run ads for an offer, they pop, they work, and they continue to work for a long time. We see this with our gyms all the time. Gyms that have worked with us for 4 or 5 years now since we started, still getting results with their offers and their ads down the road because of the strategy, versus just throwing a whole bunch of money at some ads with a really clickbaity offer, it working for a short period of time in the first year, and then not really having a way to go anyways. And we actually have a lot of gyms that come and work with us right down here. They'll do this with some other company, and then they'll be like, okay, that worked, but I realize it's not a permanent strategy. I want to work with someone who can help me do this. Because this is great, because this is like, if you have the organic, and I can tell you because my business, Big Little Gyms, works this way. My business works this way. We run a multiple $1 million a year business, and I spend barely 6 figures a year on ads, which I know that sounds like a lot, but it's literally like 2% of my entire revenue I spend on ads. Whereas like a lot of my competitors are spending 50% of their budget, of their money that they make, back on ads just to get more customers, because if they stop spending money on ads, they don't have prospects, right? Whereas like my company, because I have such an audience of people that watch my organic content here on this channel, on other channels, I have an even bigger audience on other channels. Like, there's always people that are seeing my stuff, seeing the value, and wanting to work with me, right? It's the same with your business. It's the same with your business, right? Okay, so that's it. Now, when you deploy the traffic flywheel, this is like tomorrow. Like, this is something you deploy this tomorrow. Like, this is very principle based. This isn't a trick or a tactic or some sort of like get rich quick thing. In fact, like, this is the opposite of get rich quick. This is get rich slow. This is like build a really, really good sustainable business that like in like 2 or 3 years, if you're not in this position yet, you can, if you want to take a month or 2 off, like you can, because you've got like recurring revenue coming in every month. That doesn't require you to like, get 30 new clients to replace the 25 that are leaving every month. You can just get 7 or 8 or 9, 10, like most of our clients, they just want like 7 or 8 new clients a month, because like they don't lose the clients they have because they keep the ones they have, right? If your churn rate is 20% every month, that means you have to grow by 25% every month just to grow by 5%, right? Just to get that extra 5%. If you go with this strategy, you get good long-term clients that stay for a long time, because what you're appealing to is a client that buys based on your reputation, your authority, your relevance, your trust, the confidence. And they're often someone that is doing more research and is less impulsive, right? So this is something you need to apply right away. Now, who should be using the traffic flywheel? Again, if you run a group, whether it be a small independent group gym, a CrossFit gym, a martial arts gym, a kickboxing gym, a boot camp gym, a personal training gym, or a big box gym, or maybe you're not even a gym owner. Maybe you're watching this and you're a marketer, because a lot of marketers watch my stuff because they want to know how we do this with gyms. It's the same thing. Like, it's all applies. Everybody should be doing this. This is like a foundational core tenet of building a good brand. When people talk about brand, this is brand. Brand is not your logo and your slogan. Brand is like what other people think of when they see your brand, when they see your logo, right? When the people think of when the people see the Nike swoosh or the Apple logo, they know it is synonymous with both the good and the bad things that are said about that brand, right? And ideally, the good things are the reason why they buy, right? Okay. So with that, I'm going to tell you guys about the Big Little Gyms program and how you guys can implement this system, have us implement this system in your gym, right? Because pros hire pros. And if you guys don't know who these two guys are, this is Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the best basketball player, and totally up for debate. We can debate that in the comment section. Tell me who you think is the best basketball player of all time. I grew up in the 90s, so I'm a Jordan fan, okay? And, also love Kobe. And LeBron's great too, but I think Jordan was a complete player in all regards. And so he was the best in the world. He was the best defender. He was the best shooter. He was the best passer. He often had the most assists and was the best defensive player while also being the highest scoring player on the team. So why would he hire anybody else to teach him anything? And that's because he knew pros hire pros. Pros don't hire pros to do the game for them. Pros hire pros to help them find their blind spots and build their game better, right? That's what it's all about. And I would say almost every great player ever, the best pitcher in the world has a pitching coach. The best batter in the world has a batting coach. The best basketball player in the world has a shooting coach, has a defensive coach. And the reason why is because you're working on the different facets of the game and leveling up all the different facets of the game. So when those different parts of the game come together, you get the results you want, right? That's why it's very important is you need a set of eyes and you need a system. And almost all these coaches have a system they have the player implement that helps them more automate or improve those processes without having to overthink it or labor too hard on it, right? That's the goal, is to focus on the skill, okay? So big little gyms. Like, I want you guys to imagine a system for gym owners that where we implement and build this ecosystem and implement this flywheel for you, and shows you how to use it like a boss. It's going to surround you with winners who get results, who are sharing, right? So in our community, we are sharing. We have 800 plus people in our private community that you unlock. And every day there's gym owners that make multiple six figures a year, sharing their wins, what's working, and referring to different parts of our program that they're implementing that are getting them results. Okay. And the goal is to produce repeatable, consistent results over a long time, right? We're not trying to build a one-trick pony here. We're not trying to implement things that aren't going to work over the long period of time and build that snowball, right? Again, if you're a small independent group gym owner and we can just have you grow by like 10 members a month every month, at the end of the next year, you're going to have 120 new members. Say you have 3% churn, maybe you end up with like 90 to 100 new members. But for most independent group gyms, that will change your life. If you have 100 new members paying $200+ a month to be part of your group gym, that's an extra $20,000 a month in revenue. And if you're already breaking even, that's profit, right? Now you're making multiple six figures a year running your gym. We want repeatable, consistent results. We're building what Warren Buffett calls a snowball. Warren Buffett is the greatest investor of all time because he's anti-crypto. He's anti-AI stocks. What he buys are called value companies that produce consistent, manageable results over a long period of time. And as a result, he has built what is right now the 5th most valuable company in the world. The only other 4 that are bigger than him are technology companies, right? And his conglomerate of companies that he owns are like old school companies, like insurance companies, Heinz, a ketchup company, right? Like those are the things that he invests in. That's what we're investing our knowledge into, is things that we know work now, but for a long time, right? Because we're trying to build really, really good businesses, okay? And it's going to feel like hanging out with friends with real business results. You guys are going to be engaging with me in the program. I'm going to tell you in a second about what you get and how we engage. And this is what Big Little Gyms is about, right? We're not participating in these, fast growth temporary schemes. We're trying to build communities and tribes. We are tribe builders. That's what I'm building here at Big Little Gyms, the tribe of gym owners that are changing. We together here at Big Little Gyms, our goal, one of our missions, is to change 1 million lives. And however we get there, whether that be 1,000 gyms serving 1,000 people and keeping them, that's how we want to get there, is change 1 million lives. And that's going to have a butterfly effect on the world, right? And that's what we're doing, is we're building a tribe, you're building a tribe, we're doing this together, our visions are aligned, right? And this is how we do it, right? So pillar 1 is our model, offer, and mindset, getting our model dialed in for a model that we know we can sell, that is scalable, getting your offer in place for that and pricing your things the right way, premium prices, knowing how to present that, and the mindset around it, right? How to actually go to work every day and implement in this day-to-day and want to have this success. Pillar 2 is getting the lead gen engine set up in place. So we're going to set up your lead gen engine from top to bottom, right? Your funnel, your landing pages, your all the forms, all the automations, everything that is needed to take a visitor, a prospect, from opt-in all the way to sold. And then we're tracking those steps along the way and implementing processes and automations that make that so you don't have to do it all yourself, right? We're going to implement the follow-up and appointment setting engine. All right, so we're going to get some processes in place and tools in place that make follow-up and appointment setting not hands-off, because we're not there yet with like AI, and nor do I think we will be for a long time. But I think it's getting it in place in a way that's scalable for you as a business owner to keep your schedule full each week, because there's not a better feeling as a business owner than looking at your sales calendar for the next week, knowing you have 5 or 6 or 7 people scheduled to come in and meet with you to talk about doing business with you, right? So we want to keep that appointment schedule full, and we have to have appointment setting systems in place to make sure we're booking appointments all the time and that that's happening. We're going to implement the traffic flywheel that we talked about in this video right here with organic and paid, right? And that's going to be a set of playbooks, a set of strategies, as well as also some pre-built things for you that you're going to implement, and we're going to help implement. We're going to do some of it for you in the strategies, in the system, okay? Closing and sales. We're going to get your closing process and your sales and intro processes dialed in, so you're converting more of not only are you booking more people and getting more people in front of you, but you're closing more of those people that show up at higher ticket prices, right? We want to make sure we're getting our value and increasing the value of every new customer, because there's nothing worse than not getting paid what you're worth, okay? Pillar number 6 here, fine-tuning your operations and fulfillment there, and that way we can scale up, right? So we can scale to the moon, right? So we can't bottleneck, right? If we're doing a good job of marketing, following up, booking, and selling, the next bottleneck is going to be your operations and fulfillment. So it's building your operations and fulfillment systems to where they're scalable. So that's the goal, is to get the bottlenecks removed and get you out of the way and get other people that are currently bottlenecked in your business unbottlenecked. So you have flow, so you have deal flow, you have sales flow coming in, so you can scale to the moon, right? And it's also identifying what your constraints are, whether it be high churn, whether it be hiring, whether it be wrong people on the boat right now and you need to get some new talent in, or whether it be better processes around like follow-up and sales. So you have things that you know you are doing every day that is make it easier for you to turn the brain on and get the job done to grow, okay? Our system is a private community and a virtual classroom with all the turnkey playbooks, as well as a complete marketing system and funnel bolted in, turnkey into your business, that comes with 3 calls a week that are one call that's growth, one call that is tech and strategy, or one call that is growth, one call that is tech, and one call that is strategy and operations and fulfillment every week, right? You don't have to be on all these, but they are available for you as a client to get that guidance and coaching and mentorship. And this is one part done for you, one part system, and one part guidance and mentorship, right? So you're getting a system with working with us that is done for you and implemented and fully onboarded and show, and getting you up to speed on it. So you're not having to learn all this stuff. We're just going to show you, get it in place, and then kind of on the job show you how it works. And then get it all up and going. And then one part mentorship and guidance, right? So there's that. Our timeline looks like this. When you start with us, you get a 6-week onboarding period with us so you can get an ROI. We want you to get an ROI in the first 6 weeks of working with us to make your money back and then some, where our team is going to onboard you and your team and get our system in place in your business. We're going to build and set up your funnel, SEO, CRM automations, and tech so it works. We're going to guide you on deploying our growth strategy and getting those SOPs and systems in place and processes in place in your gym. You're going to start getting more leads, booking more intros, and selling more at higher prices in the first month. And then each month we're going to have each month in each season, we're going to have a strategy for growth around that season, because every season is different and you're going to want to pull different levers. That way you don't have that like fall off that we talked about with the linear growth curve in the video before. But you must be ready. You must be ready to show up and do the work on your end, to practice speed to lead and smile and dial and pick up the phone, show up to the calls, right? The clients who get the most value in working with us and have the most success are the gym owners that show up to our Tuesday call every week with me and have conversation about growing their gym, right? We get the systems in place and some gym owners will just disappear. The ones that have the most success are the ones that show up. We also want you to be booking your leads. We want you to be selling your shows. People that show up, implement these processes and convert them at high ticket prices, right? Serve your members better. You got to want to serve your people better. If you're just trying to generate some income and you don't actually care about serving people better and building a better business and a better service and getting your local community fitter, then don't inquire with us. In fact, don't even watch our videos, because that's not why we're here, right? And I want you to make growth a top priority for your gym in this next quarter and year. Now, this is not for you, real quick, just because we get a lot of people, our discovery call schedule is full, usually 2 weeks out, right? And that's about as far as we let people book. We're usually pretty booked. And so as much as I would love to serve everybody, there's people that I definitely prefer to not do business with. So I'm just going to clarify who those people are. If you think someone's going to do it all for you, right? If you think that hiring an agency is going to understand the intricacies of your business, if anybody's going to understand the intricacies and care about their business any more than you will, you are wrong. If you think that you shouldn't have a hand in the marketing and sales side of your business, and you think that that can be handed off to an agency, then like we're probably not going to be a good fit for you, and good luck with that strategy. You'll probably be reaching out to us in a year anyways when you find out that you spent a lot of money and are right back where you started, right? Because with these kinds of businesses, you have to be involved. You have to want to learn those skills and practice those skills and get your hands dirty, right? If you want to just continue tinkering and spinning your tires in the mud, sometimes we have gym owners that jump on here that think they already know everything, right? And they want like bits and pieces of what we want to do, but they don't want to implement the whole system because they've got one piece that they built themselves that they tinkered with that they think is like the holy grail of their success, and they're missing the forest for the trees. If that's you, then feel free to continue tinkering on your own. This is probably not for you. At the end of the day, you're going to spin your tires in the mud with that strategy. I know because I've been there. Pros hire pros. I have hired and spent multiple 6 figures, if not 7 figures at this point, on systems and strategy and coaching myself, right? And there were points where I tinkered, and the tinkering got me to a certain point, and I felt attached to that thing I tinkered with, but I needed to evolve and understand that I needed this system to be cohesive and to work together, right? And the big one for me here, if you're looking to get rich fast, if you're looking for get rich quick, then please don't opt in, don't watch my videos. We're looking for the business owners that want to get rich slow. And you know why? Because people that get rich slow, ultimately it's the same end goal in the end. Both people get rich. Get rich fast doesn't stay rich, right? Get rich fast usually goes broke fast, right? Because you're usually riding trends and fads. The only things that tend to outpace long-term consistent growth in the short term are like fads and trends, but they're fads and trends. They're not principle-based ways of growing and looking at business. Therefore, they don't work long-term, right? Our goal is to build sustainable businesses, right? And hopefully it's the same with the way you serve your customers. If you're trying to peddle get fit quick, then you're not going to have people that want to stay fit long, right? Versus people that want to, build a foundational base of fitness and wellness and health and lifestyle through you and your company. That's how it should be looked at, right? And how you'll know that is if you're one of those people that fall for those get 50 members in 30-day ads that you'll see a lot of other gurus peddle at gym owners. I see them all the time. It's usually these young guys running a marketing company that don't know anything about business besides how to run some ads. And they'll say, we'll get you 50 free trials in 30 days. Good luck with that strategy, right? Like at the end of the day, people that come into your gym for a free trial for a week are not members. Those are just trials. And if you want to do all that work just to convert like 1 out of the 30, then have at it. We're looking for people that want to build really good foundational businesses that serve our communities well for a long time. And also, this is not for you if you don't understand opportunity cost, right? No one is going to do what we do for free, right? We're definitely we're very, very, I would say we're like one of the best values in all of the world, in all of the gym ownership world in regards to getting the help you need. We provide the mentorship, the resources, the systems all in one place. And at the end of the day, there are some people that we talk to that don't understand opportunity cost. Like they don't see that like making an investment can make them a multiplier back on the investment. If you don't understand ROI and opportunity cost, if you don't at least have that 5th grade level of understanding that like in order to sell lemonade for $3 a cup, I got to buy $3 worth of lemons, right? And the goal is like I buy the $3 worth of lemons and I go and sell 2 dozen cups of lemonade at $3, right? And I turn the $3 into $75, right? But I have to first, before I can sell the lemons, or sell the lemonade, I have to buy the lemons. I have to make the investment. There's an opportunity cost, right? If you don't understand opportunity cost, this is also not for you because business in general, the most successful business owners understand opportunity cost. They understand that they need to invest in their business in order to see a greater return in their business, right? And this is for those who want to build real systems and strategies that will help you get more members, make them worth more, keep them longer, serve your community better, and not temporarily, but for a long time, right? If that's you, you're invited to go to biglittlegyms.com. When you get there, you can click the Get Started button. Up will pop a form with basic information, name, phone number, email. If you fill that out, we'll reach out to you and answer any questions you have, and we'll just have a discussion there. If you want to book a discovery call with us to talk to us a little further in person and us have to do an audit and tell you more about working with us, then the next screen will take you to our discovery call schedule where you can book a time to meet with me and my team where we'll go over all this stuff inside your business and give you an idea of what you should expect to see in terms of results. And we'll be straight with you. We work with over 600 gyms actively as of this recording right now. If you're watching this a year from now, it'll probably be over 1,000 because we've pretty much grown at that rate over the last 4 years. And we're at the point now where like, I don't need to sell one more. I don't need to trick one more customer into working with us to, grow our gym, right? Our reputation and authority speaks for itself. At the end of the day, we're going to be honest and straight with you and tell you what you can expect and show you the ROI you can expect in working with us and implementing the systems and how long you should expect that to take and to get that result. And if you decide you want to work with us, you'll have that opportunity. If we decide it's not a good fit and what your goals are don't align with what we do, we'll tell you and we'll make recommendations on where you can go to get that help and save you that time and having to have 15 phone calls with all these different gym gurus, most of who probably just are trying to sell you all the same thing that they all read out of the same book, right? Okay, so that's it, guys. If you found this video valuable and relevant to what you're trying to do, and there's even one little gold nugget that you got out of it that, and you would like to reciprocate in any way, shape, or form, just click that like button down below the video. Or if you want even better, click that subscribe button. When you do all this, it kind of fires up the YouTube algorithm and it puts my content out there for more people that need my help to see it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So I need your help in doing that. If no one likes, comments, and subscribes, then YouTube doesn't know that you liked this and that it should show it to more people. And that would be really helpful. I'd be very grateful for that if you guys did that for me. I want you guys to have a fantastic week, month, and year, and hopefully you'll hit your goals. If there's any questions or follow-up comments you guys want to make about my video, go ahead and put them in the comment section below, and I'll come back and answer them. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.